Welcome to the Author's Corner with Own It Magazine. My name is Marissa Bloedoorn, and I am the editor-in-chief, and I am so excited to have with me this evening visionary Kenyatta Powers-Rucker. And we are here because she has decided to plunge right on in and publish her first anthology as the visionary author. All things pertaining to tech. These are ladies in tech, and we are continuing to celebrate women who are making history all over the world. And so, Kenyatta, you want to share with us today why you brought us all here together to participate, to support, and just to be informed with the project that you are currently working on. Talk to us about your project.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Greetings, everyone. Yes, the ladies in tech sharing our expertise for a successful career. As being a lady in tech, I will just always wish I'd had some type of resource to be able to help me through my career, to help navigate through the workplace and from a woman's perspective. We have 20 fabulous women that are sharing their stories and sharing their experiences of being ladies in tech and some of the different things that they have experienced in the workplace, and giving us guidance and suggestions and recommendations on how we can get through some of those things. So there are a lot of different situations of which we have gone through and that which we want to encourage and support other young ladies that are in tech. So they may not necessarily have to go through all that we went through as being a lady in tech. So I'm excited about all the different authors, the levels of expertise, the number of years. We have almost 400 years of experience in this book. So I am excited about it.
Isn't it beautiful when you take the time to do the numbers, right?
Yeah.
You never, until you're looking at stats and the importance of stats and validating who you are and what you're bringing to the table. We take that for granted because we really just love what we do, right? We love what we do. We want to inspire people. We want to encourage them. We want to even equip them, because what this is really all about is equipping some women in regards to how to navigate in their career successfully and to keep some peace of mind, some good, healthy mental health. So we're not having women that are all stressed out and things like that. So we take for granted the numbers, right? The stats, right? And it's a beautiful thing when we're like, oh, wait a minute. Listen to how powerful that is. 400 plus years of solid core experience and expertise. And it's a beautiful thing. And so just share with, you shared a little bit about, what this vision was for you and why you decided to do it. When is the book? It is the book. When is, because we are in the Author's Corner, when is the book going to be published?
So the book will be launched. We have a virtual book launch on May 5th, Friday, May 5th. We will also have our bestsellers campaign during that same time of Friday, May 5th, when the book will be launched. We are currently in pre-sales. And so we can get the author, get the book, and from pre-sales from any of the authors, they'll be coming on shortly. We're giving information about how you can get the book. We are also going on a book tour, per se.
All right now.
Yeah, so we will be in Long Beach, California at the Wonder Woman Tech Conference on May 17th. And we're also having a Ladies in Tech brunch on June 24th. So we're looking for the next spot after that. So we are excited to be going around and talking about, encouraging, inspiring all ladies in tech.
Well, I'm right now, gathering some things to special my event in the Dominican Republic. I'm here in the U.S. just temporarily. That's for a couple of days as I travel through. That's another reason why I share with you about the technical stuff. Well, you're welcome to come to the DR, because the women in the Dominican Republic really need inspiration. They really need to know that there are opportunities out there and that there's money that can be made in ways that they can make them, and even online, so they're not in the US, but how can they develop some skills in STEM and become more and more independent, because they do need it here in the Dominican Republic. And so without further ado, your authors, your wonderful, fabulous women
Yes.
authors are in the background. We're going to bring in Constance. We're going to bring in Angel. We're going to bring in Tiffany. All right now, ladies. And we're going to bring in Malkiyah. Is it right? How am I saying that?
Kia. Just call me Kia, please.
Kia. All right. I don't want to mess it up. All right, Kia. And so I'm really excited to have you all here. I believe I have everyone in the room. And so I'm really excited about having you all here. And I want to start by asking you, what charged you to participate in this project? What laid heavy on your heart and caused you to say, I gotta tell my story, or I gotta share what's on my heart as a woman in tech? Let's start with Constance first. Constance, you want to share your heart about, what compelled you to be a part of this project?
Certainly. So for me, it's important, I think, to share the journey that I've been on, and for readers to also understand the story and journeys of these ladies as well. I think it's no secret that we're grossly underrepresented in the technology field. And so I'm extremely passionate about moving our community forward. And so for me, it was a no-brainer to jump on this project, head first, and really get in there and let people know that somebody like me from a small town could be a part of a project like this and succeed in the technology industry and be able to be a part of, what is making the world move at the pace that it is, and that's technology. And so all things innovation, technology, digital, those are my true interests, and my passion is bringing that forward. So that's why I ended up here.
Yeah, I like how you share about seeing yourself. And my ex-husband, who's a software engineer, shared the same thing. He would say the exact same things, not seeing his face enough, in among his peers. And that really touched his heart. That really laid weight very heavy on his heart. And so next up, let's go with Angel. You want to share what compelled you? What was your heartbeat behind participating in this project?
Definitely. Thank you for having me. Very similar to Constance. We get so used to going into meetings and leading projects, and we are most times the only woman, but definitely the only brown person. And you get used to it, but you kind of get a little tired of it. And so I
Yeah.
wanted to capture some of my stories, capture some of the things that were lessons learned for me. I've been in tech for 25 years. So I started out in tech, majored in tech in college. And it was a really rocky road. I didn't have a lot of supporters. I didn't have anyone who knew C++ to help me. It was just a lot of roadblocks. And I knew when I heard Kenyatta was putting this together, I knew that I wanted to be a part of it for all of those reasons and many more.
Yeah, it's funny you say C++ because you're familiar with Brian Kernighan, right?
I don't think I am.
Yeah, he's the one who designed C++.
Okay.
Yeah, that's your design. I worked with him at AT&T Bell Laboratories for a couple of years, and then I worked with him again at Princeton University. So yeah, so he's your starter. Those are your C++, your C guys. I worked with a few of them back in the day. So when you say that, it's like instantly Brian Kernighan. Tiffany, you're up. Talk to us about what compelled us, because when you think about Own It, when you think about the magazine that you're being featured in, and I want you to understand that Own It is about just what you're talking about, the compelling of making an impact and a difference. For owning it and being a trailblazer, if that's what you have to be transparent so that others can be strengthened. So this is why I say, what is compelling you to do this, to be transparent and to be honest and to help someone else so that they understand how to navigate through it successfully, that they know that they're not alone. So Tiffany, you're up.
Yep, absolutely. So again, thank you as well for having us. So I've been knowing Kenyatta for quite some time, and I've watched her success, watched her grow, but more importantly, I've watched how she's continued to pour into the tech community, as well as her keen focus on STEM. And so I saw an opportunity to partner with her. I believed in her vision. And more importantly, I saw an opportunity to give voice to the introverts, to the people who kind of, want a seat at the table, don't know how to ask for certain things. I saw an opportunity to pour in all those folks who were like me 20 years ago, was just kind of like, let me be quiet and stay in the background. So the opportunity to help people navigate, especially women in technology, and to share the stories so that one day people can say, I can relate to that, or I've encountered that. I saw that as an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, it is. We can be introverts, but still be helpful, right? We can still speak up when it's necessary, and then go quietly back into our little space. But it's so important for us because we have such diversity. We have different perspectives. Someone who may listen to me and be influenced by me may not be influenced by someone else. And so that's why it's so important for us not to say, I don't need to share my story. We all need to share our stories because someone may relate. We have a huge, vast, especially now that we're, everyone, all the Zooming and all of the going lives has taught us that we can reach a whole world, And when you have that level of availability, we have to have diversity. And so that's what the introvert as well as the extrovert, we all have to speak up. And so, Kia, you said, right?
Yes.
Yes. All right. You're up, sweetie. What compels you? I want to hear the passion.
Kenyatta. How very much like Tiffany, if not more so. Kenyatta is one of my mentors 25 years ago and today. I worked for Kenyatta. He was the first person to entrust me in a management role in technology as an interim position with the state of Maryland under her leadership many years ago. We have similar, history and background, being two women from Baltimore City. I went to a STEM high school in Baltimore City, and it's to 25 to 27 years later, it's a little shocking and disheartening to still see so many of us are still alone at the table, either because we are not coming together and don't know about each other, or because we are still alone at the table. And the diversity of technology careers are so vast and has grown so much from being a mainframe developer and programmer or a Y2K, analyst that when everyone was afraid the world was going to blow up, technologically, that is, because we didn't know what we didn't know with Y2K, to now having, information science and information security and, cybersecurity and all of the great things that technology has grown into, and the different career paths of being an employee, at the higher ranks of being a consultant and owning your own business, of working for the great technology organizations, like Google and Amazon and Microsoft, to being a state employee, federal government employee, and making your own career path. I've had my toe in a little bit of everything. And when Kenyatta presented me with this opportunity, I just had to say yes, not only because it was her, but because, it's still the same, unfortunately, and hopefully this will reach an audience that is out there and we don't know about, or girls that will read this book and want to become a part of this great career path and this great industry of technology that will be here for forever.
And that's so great because you said it. It's like, so we talked about, we just left out of the month of March, which is the month of sisterhood, the month of celebrating women. But we need to do some work because we're not informed. And a lot of times you don't see people at the tables because people don't know about the opportunity, or people are intimidated by the opportunity. Some women may be intimidated by going into IT, right? Not knowing what it's really all about, or what are the expansive opportunities for them. Do they have to be developers or designers, or not? What other opportunities are there? And so I think that it's more important for us so to have that conversation over and over again. That's why these interviews on different platforms, and I always charge, folks that come on the Own It platform, don't come on one time, because people may see your interview or they may not see your interview. But the more consistently you show up, the more that you're having these live conversations, the more likelihood we increase the probability of them seeing and hearing and knowing that there are opportunities, and also that it's not too late if you wanted to get into IT. I know for me, when I came into Princeton University, I didn't realize that I was getting ready to go into an IT branch of the university, and that's exactly where I ended up. And so there are so many different areas that you can go into it, and also understanding and getting a coach or a mentor to help along the way, to help navigate through the career development process. So Kenyatta,
Yes.
what is on your mind right now at this moment? What thoughts are going through your head?
So I'm really thinking how the level of expertise that these ladies have and how compelling it can be to someone else that's listening in. Who's listening in right now that really needs to hear that how I want to say use the word glorious, but how advantageous that career in tech can be. Right. So they're listening to us. They see at least 5 and 6, including yourself, being in the IT field, right? That they're knowing that they're not in this by themselves, that there are a bunch of us that would like to be here and support them and encourage them and inspire them. That and some of the things that we're sharing of what we've been through can help them get through something that they may be going through. So, as I stated before, I didn't have anything close to a book like this to help maneuver
Right.
career, right? So I would like for this book to be used as a resource that if you're want to get into tech, right? You want to know about mentoring, you want to know about networking. So you want to know about these different things. How can this book can be able to help you?
Yes. So with that being said, we're going to segue into specialization. So Constance, what's your specialization in IT? You got to come off mute. There you go.
You'll love the irony that my chapter I wrote on remote work and shining at home, and my faux pas is talking on mute, and it happens all the time. And I feel that, and this will also be a part of my chapter, my contribution as well, is owning those blunders, if you will, like talking on mute or having a random filter on. And I just think that, you got to have fun with it, and you have to show up with your own personality. But to your question, what I was saying to the mute button was I glossed over this and totally forgot that I wanted to add that I'm actually probably, I think, one of very little of this group of women who actually does not have a tech background. I come from sales and business development. I've been working business development, doing a lot of capture work for federal contractors and systems integrators for the last 15 years. And so more recently, I've been doing more bespoke business development motions. And so at AWS now, I'm working to support our small and mid-sized businesses and bringing not just their customers, but their own small businesses to the cloud. It's something I'm really proud of, and I enjoy doing every single day.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about, you can be in IT and not be a tech person, so to speak. And so that's critically important because my role at Princeton University wasn't direct. I knew about the technology that we supported and offered as a service to the university population, but I wasn't a tech person, so to speak. If I had to go in and do some tech work, whether it's setting up mics, whether it's making sure the audio is working, yeah, I did. I had that ability to do that, but I did that on my own, wanting to make sure that if there was a crisis, I didn't have to wait for a tech person to go. I could ask the questions, answer the questions. That's my kind of hands-on approach to anything that I do, just being able to have the skill set, the broad skill set to support the organization that I was employed by. And so just like we said, you don't have to necessarily be a tech person, but if the average Joe Schmo does not know that through these kind of conversations, they may shy away and not look at a tech department or a tech organization and feel like they would not fit in. And so, Angel, I want to go over to you. What's your specialization?
So I just started to jot down some notes when I was listening to Constance. So it's I would be remiss if I didn't mention kind of a few of my specializations. I've had so many different specializations. And Marissa, when you talk about, the women in the DR and, what are the options? What are, I started out at base level tech support. So, I would handle all of the tech calls at GE Capital. That was my internship. And then I pivoted into, I think I heard Kia mention Y2K. So I was in charge of installing, all these patches on all of the servers to make sure that GE didn't, go down, all the infrastructure. And then I moved into, power builder development, tech program management. And so when you're in tech, you see that the trends start to move and shift.
Yes.
So I started to see that cybersecurity was, really getting kind of on and popping. And so I went back to school probably 4 years ago to get a cybersecurity MBA. And so now I am doing cybersecurity work. But again, I spent a few years doing mobile work, website stuff. And so that's the beauty of tech is that, there's so many different options and so many different paths. And sometimes you may not want to do the same thing. Sometimes things get, Y2K ended. So
Right.
that's no longer an option. And so then you pivot. And that's probably what I have a touch of ADD. And so that's probably one of the main things that I love about tech is that I've never had to be pigeonholed or forced to do the same thing year over year over year. And so it's a very beautiful industry in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially if you're a creative, if you're a thinker, a deep thinker, a strategist, you need variety. I know for me, when I had worked for myself for about 10 years doing interior decorating prior to going into Princeton University. And I can remember saying, oh my God, how am I going to transition from having the flexibility and freedom to do what I wanted, my schedule and everything like that, and go into it. But I'm really glad that I did because when you have a diverse background of different skill sets and competencies, and you know how to ease and flow through all of those different positions, it just opens the door for anything. Anything is possible when you develop a diversified background of skill sets. And it's beautiful. So I totally get what you're saying. And so we're going to go over to Tiffany. Share with us what your specialization is.
Absolutely. So I am 70-30 these days, 70% focused on growth and 30% focused on delivery. So my 70% looks more like mergers and acquisition. And then my 30% looks more like helping my government clients with strategy. So helping them run strategy, run plays, design plays, and then helping them to effectively execute. The growth is something that I just kind of fell into, as all the other ladies have kind of talked about tonight, which I'm loving it. I'm going to be calling them all whenever I have questions now. But the growth is something that I fell into just by building really solid relationships and being able to connect people in both IT and just in up and coming IT organizations. So it was something that I was just good at. So that's pretty much like my focus now. It's really on growth, but continuing to focus on delivery as well.
All right, awesome. And again, that's not direct IT, but it's having the knowledge so that you're able to do just what you said, understand growth and understand strategy. And so it's important for you to know about the technology part of it. And so Kia, you're up. You're on mute. We do that, boy.
Okay, Constance, I'm going to blame it on you, even though it's 100% not your fault. Okay. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. I didn't even know, probably until I started working for Kenyatta, that I was in a technology career. When I went to high school in Baltimore, I went to an engineering high school. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer. Didn't really realize that was a technology career. And I did not become an aerospace engineer, but what I did become was a project manager, then a program manager, then a portfolio manager, then an interim director of an enterprise program management office, and then a director of information technology. So, what we think is not technology could possibly be technology, because technology is in everything, especially today. I mean, I worked for Giant Food as what? Not a cashier or a store manager, but as a database analyst. I worked for Chevy Chase Bank. Guess what? Not a bank teller, but as a Y2K systems analyst. So, technology is everywhere in everything that we do. And so I consider myself to be an expert in managing significantly large program, portfolio, project management, delivery, and implementations, ranging anywhere as small as $100,000 to $100 million, or even $500 million for artificial intelligence programs. But, saying that, I wanted to be an engineer, I have an accounting degree and an MBA in HR management, and I am a technology professional, is because I've taken all of those great assets and parlayed them in my technology career. And that is what folks need to understand. It is the skill set that you use in technology, not necessarily that you are a technologist. And that's very important to understand.
Yeah, it is. It is important. And it's important for those people who are in limbo, in between jobs, in between careers, and wanting to expand or change or shift anything. It's important for them to know that that's actually possible. Tiffany, did I see you say you want to say something, or? Oh, okay. Just want to make sure I didn't see you. But yeah, it's so important for them to know that. And we don't hear from ladies in tech. We don't hear often from the women in STEM, unless you're watching something like CNN, Bookspan, or Technology Today, some kind of show, or they're doing an expo on technology. We're not really here. That's not the common conversation among career development, right? And so that's why I think that, again, the book, Ladies in Tech, is so important for people to hear more about. And I'm looking forward to our next interview so that we can go into how people can reach out to you guys and connect with you guys, and follow you guys, so that they can, if they're interested at all in technology as a career or opportunities, if any of our young people are interested in the opportunity, how can they get in touch? How can they follow? And what is next for him? But we'll get more into that in our next interview next week. But I really want to say, what we're getting ready to You have your launch. It's May 5th, but we're going to continue to have interviews, continue to raise awareness of this new project that's being released, which is the book. Kenyatta, you want to share with us the title, the full title of the book? And then also too, you want to give a shout out of the link that they could do for the pre-sales. And let me just say, any viewer that is watching, that's supporting any one of these authors, you can get the link directly from them. You want to purchase the book. Even if you don't purchase the book for yourself, think of someone that you know that's in need of these inspiring stories, these journeys, these words of wisdom. Think of them and give it as a gift. So if you're not thinking about it for yourself, even if you think about some young person that you have in your life that are getting ready to start on a career, that are getting ready to go into college, a high school student, you want to give them the book, because come on, we all must agree. And I believe that you said it earlier, Kenyatta, that you didn't have a book. We not only didn't we have a book, we didn't know about a book. We didn't have mentors. I know when I went to my guidance counselor in high school, and I said to him, I want to be an attorney. And that in fact, I said, I want to be a defense attorney, right? A criminal attorney. And he was telling me there's no money in that. So sometimes when we do have people in our lives that are supposed to be giving us words of wisdom and knowledge and direction, they're not always doing that. And so when we have, forums like this, we get a chance and an opportunity. We're on YouTube. So this is featured live on YouTube. So anyone doing a search that does, ladies in tech, inspiring women, when they go to YouTube and they'll put those keywords in there, this video is going to come up and they'll have an opportunity to hear about ladies in tech. And so with that being said, I want to go around, as this is, we're going to be closing out. I want to go around the room. I'm going to start with Constance, and then I want to end with you, Kenyatta. What would be the most compelling thing that you could say to someone who you really want to speak to them? So how you wrote your chapter, that person that you're speaking to, here is an opportunity for you to say one powerful statement to them, to intrigue them, to say they need to pick up this book and they need to read it. What is it that you would say? Constance, you can go ahead first.
Man, so many things. And I love to talk, so I'd probably try and say all of those things. But for somebody like me who is either listening or will pick up this book, I want them to know, don't listen to that voice, internal or external, that is telling you that you can't do it, or that you're not enough, or that you're too small, you're too country, you're too dark, you're too light, you're too anything. I want for you to mute that voice. And if you have to feel like you're lying to yourself, you tell yourself that I'm unstoppable. I can do anything. And so you said something earlier about, not seeing people like us in this industry. And especially now we're looking at, youth that are up and coming. I read a stat that said that middle school girls in a poll didn't see themselves in tech. They didn't consider it for them. They thought it was a boy thing. But you look at this monitor, and full transparency, I'm typing in this group because these ladies are giving me life. It's given boss. It's given. I love to hear the flex. Like it's. I think this is what people need to see, and I hope that when they pick up the book, this is the energy that they get, so people can dispel the whole myth around women and women of color, backbiting and backstabbing and not being trustworthy, and really kind of, start to have a different perspective on what we can give each other and what we can reach across and help each other do and connect each other to. And this is an extremely fast-paced, lucrative industry. And, we need to bring our sisters into it. And so that's what I would want somebody to take away from it.
That's it. And that's it. And just what you said. It's empowering. And I like what you said. You got to speak it till you own it. And that's what I say. It's self-talk. I'm unstoppable. And for me, it's music. Music, putting that song that says I'm unstoppable, I'm invincible, I don't need a battery to play. Those kind of lyrics, they condition the mind to ultimately believe it, to own it, and then to walk in it. You got to do that self-talk. No one is going to love you enough other than yourself to make that happen for you. So I love it. Unstoppable. You got to tell yourself that. Angel, you are up. What do you want to tell that person that you are speaking to specifically? Because you know what? We know that we have experienced and what has been done to us.
Yep.
So there's someone that we're speaking to directly, and I want you to speak to them.
For sure. It's Constance again brought up so many topics. I'm also a talker, extroverted talker. So I'm going to try to be brief, but I'm also a storyteller. So just a quick story. So a few quick ones. So one, the Just for Boys topic. This is like a real pet peeve because I have a daughter. And so I put her into a STEM class and, at her school, brought the class to the school. And so I was so hurt. My feelings were so hurt when there was one of her friends told her mother that, she was surprised that my daughter was in there because it's just for boys. And I was like, all of my 25 years of struggle, but it's real and it's happening on the elementary school level. And so I've made it my business to try to change that on the elementary school level. 2, really fast. When I majored in computer information systems, I told you about the C++. What I didn't mention was that I had a chair of the department who, when I failed C++, told me I needed to change my major. Again, disheartened, couldn't believe it, stunned. Had a close girlfriend. So it's super important to have people in your corner who will go hard for you. She was like, just take it. Take it again and find a different instructor. I find a different instructor. I take it again. I pass it. That was the only class in my major that I ever had an issue with. But yet, had I not, listened to my homegirl and listened to that voice inside of me, I was like, wait, that was just one class. And then the last thing is, so I do want to just give a shout out to my topic. Interviewing and negotiating is my topic in the book. It's so, so important to make sure that we know as women that we have to stand up for ourselves. We have to negotiate. We have to push. Studies show that women are not negotiating for salaries. And so it is very important that I put that in the book to make sure that other women are empowered and know that they can ask for the bag.
Yes, they can. And it's so important for you to also do your homework so that you know what's the range in salary, right? So you have to know based on that job and the job description, you got to come in there knowing what is the salary range so that you don't go in ignorant. And that's why we don't know how to negotiate, because we don't do our homework to know what's our worth, what's the market bearing on our salary. And so very good, very, very good. Tiffany, you're up.
Sure. If I could just build on one thing Angel said, not only knowing the salary, but also asking for equity. We put so much into other people's organization. We build, we're loyal, we're committed, especially women. And sometimes after 20 years, we walk away with the salary, right? So and we're not taught this as young kids. At least I wasn't taught this as a young Black kid. So asking for equity, right? If you're going to put 10 years or 5 years and you're going to give it your all. But the one thing that I would say is, years ago, I was told, be more than a pretty face. And I was like, okay. So I will tell you that the one thing that I would like people to, the readers of this book, is to think of this as personal development. Always invest in yourself, because people cannot take education, skill, and knowledge from you. right? They can say whatever they want to about as you get older. Oh, you know, you're not in your 20s. You don't look as beautiful. How people, you know, that's just what people want to do, especially to women. But they cannot take away this brain. So always invest in yourself. And this is personal development. This is an investment in you. And that's
Yes,
what
it
I
is.
want people to take away.
Yes, it is. I offer this concept is you are the CEO of your life. It's time to make executive decisions and who's in your boardroom. Kia, you're up.
What an honor I have to be able to go behind Tiffany, Angel, and Constance, as well as all of your comments, Marissa. Listen, a career in technology can be what you would like it to be and what you want to make it. You know, glass ceiling is real. It is real regardless of color. But for women, all women face glass ceilings.
Mhm.
And so, one thing in technology, when you don't know your worth, when you don't negotiate your salary, when you don't ask for equity, and when you are not giving life and loving who you are in technology, you will stay stagnant and stay in a role because it is good to pay the bills, but you want to do more, but don't know how to do more, and don't even want to ask because you don't want to rock the boat. So,
Right.
you know, people will keep you in, you know, an entry level or a mid level, or sometimes even a beginning management level position, because that's convenient for them, for you to be there because you're good at what you do, but you
Mhm.
aspire to do more. And it is okay to want to do more, and it is okay to want to stay techie and be an individual contributor and not run a team. You can do whatever you want to do in technology as long as you do it well, and that's what I would want to say.
Awesome, awesome. I love that because you should. You should always strive to do it well. You should always strive. Excellent responses, ladies. You know, I know that we're going to be interviewing in the next coming weeks, and I pray that you come back consistently because this is the Author's Corner. So you're always welcome to come back to the Author's Corner and talk about your specific topic, the book. You can come in, talk individually, as a group again. You're always welcome because we have to keep these conversations going. We also have to keep the conversation going about the woman, the sisterhood, and supporting one another, and speaking words of encouragement and empowerment, and giving one another permission to proceed up, you know, or proceed with whatever it is that their hearts desire. So, Kenyatta, as visionary of this project, I want to charge you. What is your your compelling words to speak to the audience, to tell them, you know, why is it so important for them to grab hold of this book and read it, and then also to follow you guys so that they can continue to grow?
So I had a young lady who's actually in this book, and she and I worked together, and she made a comment that seeing an African American woman as a leader was a norm for her. That it was normal to see me and I have several African American females on my team as leaders. It was normal for her to see us as leaders, and that just melted my heart. And as other women in tech, to just know that you're not alone. There are other women in leadership in tech that you, and that's what you strive for, that you can be it too. So yes, it just to think about it being the norm for people to know that there are not just women in tech but women in leadership. Yes, let's make that the norm.
Yes.
Let's make it the norm across the board.
And you know, I love that too. And we should, that should be our heart's desire, is to make that normal. Why is it the exception and not the rule? It should be the rule. But it takes us, it
Yes.
takes each one of us to come be very transparent and very loving. We all are gifted, we're all talented, we're all beautiful. No one's a threat to anyone, but we collectively have to start changing that so that we show up the way that we should in our industries, whether it be IT, another area in STEM, no matter where it is, that sisters are doing it for themselves, that that we are sticking together, and we're helping each other, and we're helping each other in a healthy way. Because I see a lot of it. I see a lot of the foolishness that goes on. We need to change the script, and really help each other. Listen, I'm going to do two things before we leave. One, I want to say how beautiful Kenyatta was as our cover girl for the March issue, and there she is. Check her out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Love her, love her, love her. And then we got to see what we've been talking about all night. We've been talking about Ladies in Tech, the book, Ladies in Tech. And this is a book that's inspiring, it's uplifting, it's stories about career development in the IT industry, and everything that you need, coaching. But beyond that, you want to get connected with the visionary and watch what's going on. The book is going to be released May 5th. They're doing a bestsellers campaign. We need to support them. They're also doing some pre-sales. So Kenyatta, close us out with the pre-sales, what they can do with that information, the launch date, and all of that other good stuff. Anything you want the audience to know before we close out this evening.
So yes, we are in the midst of pre-sales. Each one of these ladies, you can get your book from. They are all on social media, especially LinkedIn and Facebook. So you can reach out to either one to be able to get your book via pre-sales. The book will be available May 5th, in which we will have our virtual book launch. More information to come. Follow each of us to know when to get the information to register for the virtual book launch that will be on Friday, May 5th. We will also be in Long Beach, California on May 17th and May 18th. And we will also be in Arlington, Virginia on June 24th. So, Ladies in Tech is moving, and we are here to share our stories, share our experiences, and hope to encourage and inspire other ladies in tech as well.
This is incredible. This has been a wonderful interview. I am so excited and pleasured to meet each and every one of you, and I'm looking forward to building a relationship. Like I believe it was, who was it that said it? Angel talked about the importance of building relationships. And that's exactly what we do here. We call it the Own It family. And we call it that because you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me. So you guys have a blessed evening. Thank you. I'm looking forward to you coming back. You are no longer strangers, but part of the family. And please, we want to inspire women. We want to inspire our young girls to take center stage and own it in IT. Ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Thank you so very much for being with us tonight. And we will see you real soon.